Item number 9, embrace imperfection. You know, there's all this talk about there. I mean, pixel perfect design and perfect topography and all this kind of stuff. And really, for design professionals, that's a great way to be. It's great to have a sense of you want your composition to be perfect. You want your design to be perfect. That's a good way for a designer to be, but that's not a good way for a do-it-yourself web builder to be, because you're not capable of doing it perfectly. And more to the point, perfection isn't necessary in order to get the business, right? It's not, the perfect design is not why somebody comes to your site. The perfect design is not why somebody chooses to buy your product or chooses to go to your store or, chooses to call you. It's not because of the perfect design. That's not doing it for you, right? And perfection can't be defined objectively anyway, right? One artist's perfection is another artist's trash. And there's no real objective way to say, okay, this is a perfectly designed website. This is a perfect graphic element. This is a perfect button. This is the perfect font size. This is the perfect color. This is the perfect way your site should look if you are an architect or an engineer, right? There is no such objective definition of that, which means that for many people, your perception of perfection is not perceptible. They aren't going to perceive it. They aren't going to see it as perfect. They aren't even going to think about it as perfect. And since that perfection can't be objectively defined, since it isn't necessary in order for somebody to do business with you, since your user probably can't perceive it as perfection anyway, perfection really ends up being a trap that is meant to keep you from being effective. Right? You don't need to be perfect in order to be effective. Your website does not need to be perfect in order for it to encourage people to visit your store. But the pursuit of perfection by DIY web builders is one of the big stumbling blocks in getting their sites completed, getting their sites being used, getting their sites out there and open to the general public. So my encouragement to you is, when you're working on your own site like this, that you embrace imperfection automatically. You say, my site's not going to be perfect, and I'm not going to try to make it perfect. What I'm going to try to do is make it good enough so that people will contact me. And then throughout the time, as I'm working on this site, I'll try to make it better and better. But I'm going to embrace imperfection.